Yo, long hairs. El Rubio here at the Long Hairs Global Headquarters. It's good to see you again, as usual. We talk a lot about men with long hair. Today's topic is little guys with long hair. And there's a lot of layers to this topic, from the parents and bullies and adults and global society in which we live. But today, we're just talking to the guys. So, a lot of us care a lot about what people think about us, and in particular, our friends and our own peer group. And this is especially true for kids in grade school and middle school and even high school. And to the degree where what people say or think about us can even affect our decisions and behavior. And if we get some negative influence or negative comments or we're teased or whatever, it can be a blow to our identity and really just, really affect us. In light of that, we all reach a higher level of maturity when we can brush off or ignore what people think or say about us. And that peer pressure is an extraordinary force. It's one of the most powerful forces, social forces, that is out there. But we reach that higher level of maturity when we can ignore those things, in particular when we're being teased about something that makes us happy or that we know makes us better. A great example is a podcast that we listened to recently on the art of manliness, on Rick Barry, an NBA player and one of the greatest free throw shooters of all time. And he shot his free throws underhand or granny style, and yet had in history one of the highest free throw percentages ever. And he tried to teach some other great NBA players who sucked at free throws how to use this method of the underhand granny technique. Everyone, Wilt Chamberlain, Shaquille O'Neal, some of the most famous, some of the greatest basketball players out there who could have been maybe the greatest if they had just been better, higher percentage free throw shooters. And one of them in particular said, I would rather get 0 than shoot granny style. And that was a man who is 7 feet tall in the NBA. And that just shows the power of that peer pressure and how it exists, much less for kids in grade school and middle school and high school. And so if you got 7 foot tall NBA players who are not willing to do that, it just really demonstrates how powerful those forces could be, okay? And it takes a special kind of courage and fortitude to be different and to stand out in the crowd, even in the face of teasing or ridicule or intense and even sometimes cruel peer pressure in the case of these young kids. It's a really special quality to have, to be willing to be different without fear. The truth is, people who are going to give you a hard time about your long hair, one, they're either insecure about themselves and they are trying to put you down to make them feel better about themselves, to make them feel superior to you, the classic bully complex, or they are afraid of people who are different than them, and that fear affects their behavior and their actions, or they are simply judgmental. And who are they to judge, really? Who's anyone to judge? So how do you respond when you have people giving you a hard time about your long hair? Well, we have a nice little list prepared of responses for people who have bad things to say about your hair on our website. It's in Long Hair's Quick Tips, and you can sign up for it for free on our website, Long Hair's Quick Tips. But for the short and really practical version, the first thing that you can say is simply, this is my body, this is my hair, and I like it long. You don't have to grow your hair long. If you don't like long hair, then you can wear your hair however you want, just like I can wear however I want. And more importantly, why do you care? Is what I would ask someone. Why do you care how long my hair is? It's not, unless I'm choking you with it physically, assaulting you, or some other reason that is dramatically or directly affecting you, why do you care? And if someone is giving you a hard time, you could just simply ask them that. And there's plenty of other responses that you could give them as well, maybe some that aren't quite as polite. So those are a couple of things that you could say if you're having a hard time, if people are giving you grief about it. So today, we just want to give a shout out to you little guys, young sportsmen, groms, guys out there, for growing your hair out, for letting it ride, for not being afraid to be different, even when you're getting a hard time from your friends or your peer group or whoever else is out there. It takes a lot of courage and personal fortitude and self-confidence, and it makes you a stronger person to be able to be different without fear. So thanks for watching, and keep letting it ride, and we're going to be looking out for you out on the mean streets. And in the meantime, long hairs, salute to all of our young guys out there with long hair. Keep letting it ride. We'll see you next time. See. Okay, so we decided to do the video today after a letter that we got from Arthur's mom. Arthur is 7 years old at the time of this post, a young boy with long hair who's gone through some ordeals and trials and tribulations, and his mother, Maymay, took the time to recap some of those in a letter that she wrote to us. And we've actually posted that letter on the website. So if you're watching this on YouTube, click through, the link is in the bottom here. Click through back to the website so you can read this letter. It's really just spectacular. It's really worth clicking through for the read. We've really wanted to touch on this topic for quite some time. We've had a number of moms of guys with long hair who have written us, but this story in particular really kind of captured the heart and soul of what we wanted to express. So that's why we decided to touch on it finally. So this one's to you, Arthur. And if any of those kids are talking about your long hair, you just send them down here to the long hairs. All right?